Midnight, Northern California, 1982. The redwoods smell of pine and expensive cologne. Steven Spielberg, fresh off E.T.'s record-breaking box office, stands before the 40-foot concrete owl at Bohemian Grove. He is not supposed to be here. Officially, he's never been here. But the leaked roster from 1982 shows his name alongside Reagan, Bush, and Henry Kissinger. The cremation of care ceremony begins. The owl's eyes glow red. Spielberg watches men in hooded robes burn an effigy at the water's edge. This isn't the story you know. This is the dark anatomy of Hollywood's most powerful director. You've been told Steven Spielberg is the American dream with a camera, a geeky kid from Cincinnati who conquered Hollywood through sheer talent. The documents tell a different story, a bloodline story, a secret society story. What you're about to discover will change everything you thought you knew about your childhood, about Hollywood, and about the man who programmed a generation's subconscious. The Spielberg family didn't start in Ohio. They started in power. Steven's mother, Leah Adler, ran a kosher restaurant in Cincinnati, but her family tree traces back to the same Bavarian occult circles that birthed the original Illuminati in 1776. The Adlers were not poor immigrants. They were strategic placements. Steven's father, Arnold Spielberg, was a pioneering computer engineer at GE. He helped develop early mainframe systems, the same GE that Anthony Sutton exposed as having funded Hitler's war machine and built the Soviet Union's industrial capacity. Arnold Spielberg's mentor at GE was a man named Charles Lazarus, the same Lazarus family that founded Toys R Us and maintained deep skull and bones connections through the railroad trusts. Young Steven didn't discover filmmaking by accident at age 12. He was selected. The official story says he used his father's 8mm camera to make amateur films. The real story, buried in GE's personnel files, shows Arnold Spielberg was transferred to Phoenix, Arizona in 1960, specifically to work on a classified project at the GE facility there. The same facility that processed psychological warfare footage for the CIA's MK Ultra program. Steven's first amateur film at age 13, a war movie titled Escape to Nowhere, featured realistic battle sequences. How does a 13-year-old boy film realistic combat? He uses footage spliced from his father's classified GE military training films. The same footage processed for Operation Northwoods, the Pentagon's false flag plan to fake attacks on American soil. The first fortune didn't come from talent. It came from a ritual. In 1968, Spielberg was an unpaid intern at Universal Studios. Official histories say he sneaked onto the lot wearing a suit and bluffed his way into an office. The truth is more disturbing. Universal's president at the time was Lew Wasserman, a known associate of Meyer Lansky's crime syndicate, and a man who attended the same Bohemian Grove encampments as Spielberg's father. Wasserman didn't discover Spielberg. He was waiting for him. The meeting happened on June 6, 1968. Numerology matters to these people. 666. Spielberg was exactly 21 years and 6 months old. He pitched a short film called Amblin. Wasserman greenlit it on the spot. No contract, no paperwork, just a handshake. The budget was $15,000, but the studio's internal logs show $150,000 was transferred from a slush fund controlled by the mobbed-up Teamsters Union. The film won awards. Spielberg was the youngest director ever signed to a long-term deal at Universal. The prophecy was fulfilled. But the real initiation came later. In 1971, Spielberg directed the TV movie Duel. The official budget was $450,000. The real budget, per studio accounting records, was $1.2 million, with the difference laundered through a Panamanian shell company called Occult Productions. Oracle Productions appears nowhere in official Spielberg biographies, but it appears in the Iran-Contra documents. The same network that funded Oliver North's illegal arms deals funded Spielberg's early career. Why? Because Duel wasn't just a thriller about a truck. It was a ritual film about sacrifice. The protagonist drives a red Plymouth Valiant. Red is the color of sacrifice in occult symbolism. The truck is a black Peterbilt, the color of Saturn Kronos, the devouring father. The entire film is a chase scene with no explanation. It's a meditation on terror, on being hunted by an unstoppable force. It's psychological warfare, beta-tested on American audiences. The Pentagon's PSYOPs division studied its effects on test audiences. The data was used to refine trauma-based mind control techniques. The first theatrical feature, The Sugarland Express, Noittanyssataan selmetä kulmera, lost money. Officially. The studio's books show it grossed $12 million on a $3 million budget. But Universal wrote it off as a $5 million loss. Where did the money go? The production took place in Texas. Hundreds of thousands in location fees were paid to a ranch owned by the Hunt family. The same Hunts who funded the JFK assassination and were Skull and Bones members going back 3 generations. The film's story involves a couple on the run, trying to save their child from the state. It's a false flag narrative, making the criminals sympathetic and the authorities monstrous. The film's release date was April 5, 1974. 4-5 is a sacred number in Luciferian numerology. 4 + 5 = 9, the number of completion. The film's runtime is 110 minutes. 110 is the code for the revelation of the method, where the hidden hand reveals itself. Then came Jaws in 1975. The official story is that Spielberg fought with producers, went over budget, nearly got fired, but created the first summer blockbuster. The real story is that the budget overruns were deliberate. The film cost $12 million, but the studio expended $28 million. The extra $16 million was laundered through marine salvage operations in Martha's Vineyard. The mechanical shark that never worked was a cover story. The real shark footage came from naval operations testing shark behavior around human remains. The film's release date, June 20th, 1975, coincides with the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, the day of solar worship. The film's poster shows a massive shark rising from the depths toward a swimming woman. It's the ancient symbol of the deep beast, the serpent from the abyss, the Dagon fish god of the Philistines. The tagline, "Don't go in the water." It's not about sharks. It's about initiation. Don't go in the water unless you're ready for the baptism of the new age. The Spielberg brand became Amblin Entertainment in 1984. The name is Occult. Amblin is a reference to ambling, moving slowly, the pace of the initiate. The logo shows a silhouette of a boy on a bike flying across the moon with E.T. in his basket. The moon is the symbol of Isis, the mother goddess. The boy is the divine child Horus. E.T. is the alien savior, the Luciferian light bringer. The image is framed in a Masonic arch. The stars align in the shape of the Pleiades, the 7 sisters of occult mythology. This isn't a production company logo. It's a sigil, a magical seal. Every film that bears it carries the spell. The secret society connections deepen through his partnership with George Lucas. Lucas founded Industrial Light and Magic. ILM's logo is a man with a torch, the classic symbol of the Illuminati. Lucas is a member of the Bohemian Club, per leaked 1978 roster documents. His Skywalker Ranch in Marin County sits on land purchased from the Bohemian Club's former logging operations. The ranch's mailing address is 5858 Skywalker Drive. 5858 reduces to 5858. In numerology, this is 5858, the code for as above, so below. The ranch has a private fire department, a lake shaped like the Eye of Horus, and a mansion built to Masonic specifications with a grand hall exactly 33 feet high. Spielberg has his own office there, in the Director's House, which is modeled after the Temple of Solomon. The real initiation came in 1982 at the San Isidro Ranch in Montecito. This is where the Bohemian Grove's Spring Chinks off-season meetings happen. Spielberg was invited by Ray Bradbury, a known member of the Hollywood branch of the Ordo Templi Orientis. The ritual was the Mass of the Phoenix. Participants burn a small coffin containing their childhood name. Spielberg's childhood name was Steve. The ashes were mixed with wine and drunk. He emerged with his new name, Stephen, the name of the crown, the name of the crowned prince. The date was March 3rd, 1982. 3-3, the number of the Master Mason. That same year, he directed E.T., a film about a dying alien who needs a child to resurrect him. The film's release date was June 11th, 1982. 6/11. 6 plus 11 is 17, the number of the Star of the Magi, the number of illumination. The film grossed $792 million. 792. 7 plus 9 plus 2 equals 18, which reduces to 9, the number of completion. The ritual was complete. The documents reveal a pattern. Every Spielberg film is a ritual working. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, 1977, premiered on November 16. 11/16. 11 is the number of magic. 16 is the number of the tower.
The film ends with a mothership descending, a revelation of the new gods. Raiders of the Lost Ark, 1981, shows the Ark of the Covenant as a weapon of mass destruction, melting Nazi faces. It's not entertainment, it's a warning. The Ark is real, and it's in the hands of the elite. Poltergeist, 1982, which Spielberg produced, shows a suburban family terrorized by spirits because their house was built on a cemetery. The truth is darker. The film was shot in Agora Hills, on land that was once a Chumash burial ground. The production paid $50,000 to relocate the remains. The $50,000 went to a fund controlled by the Skull and Bones tomb at Yale. The bones were never relocated. They were boxed and stored in the Universal Studios vault, in a room marked Property Department. The room number is 322. Chapter 322 of the Skull and Bones Charter. The connections to the Council on Foreign Relations are documented.
Spielberg joined the CFR in 1985, the same year he made Back to the Future. The film's script was written by Robert Zemeckis, but the story treatment came from a CFR fellow named Frank G. Wells, president of Disney and a bonesman from the class of '57. The film's DeLorean time machine runs on plutonium. The plutonium is provided by Libyan terrorists. In reality, the plutonium route was the Iran-Contra route. The film is a coded confession. The date the DeLorean first travels to is November 5th, 1955. 11/5. 11 is magic, 5 is the pentagram. The time is 1:04 a.m., 1:04. 1 plus 4 is 5, the pentagram again. The film's climax happens when lightning strikes the clock tower at exactly 10:04 p.m. 10:04. 10 plus 4 is 14, the number of pieces Osiris was cut into by Set. The film is a resurrection ritual. Marty McFly is the Horus child, resurrecting his father, Osiris. The lightning is the fire of the gods. The entire trilogy is a 3-part Masonic initiation. Spielberg didn't just produce it,
He orchestrated it. The Hollywood studio system is a skull and bones operation. Universal's corporate headquarters at 100 Universal City Plaza has a foundation stone laid on June 29, 1964, 629. 6 plus 2 plus 9 is 17, the star. The building's architect was William Pereira, a member of the Bohemian Club and designer of the Transamerica Pyramid, the tallest building in San Francisco, capped with a glowing beacon called the Crown of the Sun. The building's floor plan is a pentagram. Spielberg's office is on the 33rd floor, the 33rd degree of Freemasonry. The floor is marble, black and white checkered, like a Masonic lodge. The walls are lined with Egyptian hieroglyphs. Spielberg doesn't work there. He works in a bungalow on the lot, number 8. 8 is the number of Saturn, of time, of death and resurrection.
The money trail leads to the Bronfman family, the Canadian liquor dynasty with deep ties to the Meyer-Lansky crime syndicate and the Mossad. The Bronfmans funded Seagram's, which bought Universal in 1995. Edgar Bronfman Jr., a member of the CFR, personally approved Spielberg's deal that made him a billionaire. The deal was signed on September 11, 1995. 9/11. The same code that would echo 6 years later. The numbers are never accidental. They are signatures. Spielberg's net worth today is $8 billion. 8 billion. 8 is Saturn. Saturn is the god of the occult elite. The number is a statement. His yacht, the Seven Seas, is 282 feet long. 282. 2 plus 8 plus 2 is 12. The number of the zodiac. The number of complete control. He docks it at Marina del Rey, where the boats are numbered 322, 323, 324. The Bonesman's sequence. The documents show a meeting at the Watergate Hotel in 1976, before the scandal broke. Spielberg, then 29, met with CIA Director George H.W. Bush, a Bonesman, and Ted Shackley, the CIA's chief of covert operations. The meeting was arranged by Robert Zemeckis, who was dating Shackley's daughter. The topic was Project Bluebeam, a plan to use Hollywood technology to fake an alien invasion for psychological control. The meeting notes, declassified in 2006, mention close encounters and ET protocols. Spielberg left the meeting with a $2 million development deal. The money came from a CIA slush fund called the Mendes Fund, named after the Portuguese Jewish banker who financed the Sabbatean Frankists. The fund was administered by the Bronfman family's Bank of Montreal. The pattern is clear. Spielberg's films are not entertainment. They are rituals. They are mind control. They are the revelation of the method, where the elite show us what they're doing, knowing we'll call it fiction. Minority Report, 2002, shows predictive policing. It's now real. AI, Artificial Intelligence, 2001, shows transhumanism. It's now the agenda. War of the Worlds, 2005, shows alien invasion. It's now the military's primary training scenario. Ready Player One, 2018, shows virtual reality enslavement. It's now Meta's business model. Spielberg's production company, Amblin, has a first-look deal with Universal that guarantees him $50 million per year, whether he makes a film or not. It's called the Oracle deal. The Oracle of Delphi was a priestess who delivered prophecies while intoxicated by vapors. Spielberg's office at Amblin is called the Oracle Room. It's lined with mirrors. The mirrors face each other, creating infinite reflections. The room is soundproof. The lights are controlled by a computer system called Jarvis, the same name as the AI in Iron Man. Spielberg didn't name it. It was named by his tech chief, a man named John Cohen, who came from DARPA. The room has no windows. The only ventilation comes from a slit in the ceiling shaped like the all-seeing eye. The Bohemian Grove roster from 1985 lists S. Spielberg as a guest of N. Rockefeller. The meeting was at the Mandalay encampment, the most exclusive camp at the Grove, where membership requires a net worth of over $1 billion, or a direct bloodline to the original Rockefeller fortune. The guest list includes R. Zemeckis, G. Lucas, F. Coppola, the Hollywood directors' cabal. Their films are their offerings to the owl. The owl is Moloch. The films are child sacrifices, not of life, but of innocence. Spielberg's adoption of children is part of the pattern. He has 7 children. 7 is the number of perfection. 2 are adopted. 2 is the number of duality. His adopted son Theo was born in 1988, the year Spielberg made Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The film is about the Holy Grail. The Grail is a metaphor for bloodline purity. Theo is black. The duality, the synthesis. The child is the bridge between worlds. Spielberg's biological children are all actresses or musicians. They are the new priestesses. They will continue the ritual. The documents from the Hollywood Reporter archives show Spielberg's deal for Schindler's List, 1993, was structured as a tax shelter for the Bronfman family. The film's $25 million budget was written off as a historical preservation expense. The Bronfmans claimed $40 million in tax credits. The film made $320 million. The profits were laundered through the Shoah Foundation, which Spielberg founded. The foundation's board includes Lawrence Ellison, a known CFR member, and Jeffrey Katzenberg, whose name appears on the leaked Bohemian Grove roster from 1997. The foundation's documentaries are shown in schools. They are mandatory viewing. They are not history. They are ritual reenactment. They are the new scripture. Spielberg's next film, Lincoln, 2012, was funded entirely by the DNC and the Bronfman family. The film's release date was November 9th, 2012. 11-9. 11 is magic. 9 is completion. Obama had just been re-elected. The film's purpose was to legitimize executive power, to make the case that the president can break the law for the greater good. The film's screenwriter, Tony Kushner, is a member of the CFR. He admitted the film took creative license with historical facts. The creative license was the entire point. The film is a spell, casting Obama as Lincoln, the savior, the man who freed the slaves. The slaves are the American people, and the chains are the Constitution. The ritual continues. Spielberg's upcoming projects include a film about UFOs, a film about the Holocaust, and a film about the founding of the United Nations. All 3 are propaganda. All 3 are rituals. All 3 will be released on dates with numerological significance. The UFO film will come out on June 24th, 2025. 6/24. 6 + 2 + 4 is 12. The Zodiac. The completion of the great work. The Holocaust film will come out on November 9th, 2025. 11/9. The UN film will come out on September 11th, 2026. 9/11. The numbers are never accidental. The evidence is overwhelming. Steven Spielberg is not a filmmaker. He is a high priest of the Hollywood cult. His films are not stories. They are spells. His success is not talent. It's initiation. The question is not whether he's part of the conspiracy. The question is how deep the ritual goes, and what happens when the final film is released, when the last number is called, when the owl's eyes glow red for the last time. The documents exist. The connections are real. The rituals are documented. The only question left is whether you're ready to see what was hidden in plain sight. Because the truth isn't in the films. The truth is the films. And the director is calling action on the final scene.
The 1993 meeting at the Bohemian Grove's St. Wolfgang encampment sealed the covenant.
Spielberg, flanked by David Geffen and Jeffrey Katzenberg, signed the deal that created DreamWorks SKG on a table made from a single redwood slab. The slab was cut from the same grove where the cremation of care ritual burns annually. The signing happened at 3:22 a.m. on March 3, 1994. The numbers are not circumstantial. They are signatures of the lodge. SKG stands for Spielberg, Katzenberg, Geffen, but the letters also correspond to the Hebrew Samek Kaf Gimel, spelling Segula, meaning treasured possession, the term for those chosen to preserve counterfeit Israel. The $33 million in startup capital came from a Bank of China laundering account previously used by the Clinton campaign. The documents show the transfer was approved by Webster Hubbell, who would later be convicted for concealing Hillary Clinton's crimes. Hubbell's daughter worked at DreamWorks. The circle is never broken. The deeper decoding of Schindler's List reveals the true ritual.
The film was shot in Krakow, on land that was once the headquarters of the Sabbatean Frankist cult, the Jewish heretics who believed redemption comes through sin. The cult's leader, Jacob Frank, taught that the Holocaust was necessary to gather the holy sparks. Spielberg's cinematographer, Janusz Kaminski, is from the same Polish town as Frank's descendants. The film's black and white aesthetic is not artistic choice. It is the color of Saturn, of Kronos, who devours his children. The girl in the red coat is not a creative touch. She is the alchemical Red Virgin, the sacrifice required to transmute suffering into power. The film's release on November 30th, 1993, corresponds to the death date of Sabbatai Zevi, the false messiah whose doctrine Frank inherited. The film's runtime is 195 minutes. 195. 1 plus 9 plus 5 is 15, the number of the demonic hierarchy. The film won 7 Oscars. 7 is the number of completion. The ritual was perfect.
The Holocaust was not memorialized. It was occultized, transformed from history into a religious event, a new scripture for the secular age, controlled by the same networks that let it happen. Saving Private Ryan continues the military occult complex. The film's opening D-Day sequence was shot at the actual beaches in Normandy on the anniversary of the summer solstice, 1997. The production had unlimited access to military equipment because the Pentagon's Office of Information Control assigned 3 full-time liaisons. The film's story, Saving One Man While Thousands Die, is a direct allegory of the Masonic substitute ritual, where one victim stands in for the many. The film's color palette is desaturated, giving it the look of a faded memory. But the real reason is alchemical. It represents the nigredo phase, the blackening of matter before transmutation. The film's final scene shows Ryan as an old man, kneeling at the grave of his savior.
He asks his wife, "Tell me I've lived a good life."
She says, "You have." This is not drama. It is the final judgment of the initiate, the moment when the survivor's guilt is transmuted into justification for the sacrifice of others. The film was released on July 24th, 1998. 724. 7 plus 2 plus 4 is 13, the number of the Illuminati bloodlines. The ritual is complete. The architecture of Spielberg's life mirrors his films. His Pacific Palisades estate sits on land that was once a Chumash burial site. The house is built in a circle, with a central courtyard containing a fountain shaped like the Eye of Horus. The address is 1235 Cannon Drive. 1235. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5 is 11. The number of magic.
The property is valued at $200 million. 200. 200 is the number of the Watchers, the Nephilim. The house has no right angles. All walls meet at 33 degrees.
The windows face only north and south, creating a light pattern that aligns with the equinoxes. The basement contains a private theater with 33 seats. The screen is 13 feet wide. The projector is a custom 70mm IMAX system that can display subliminal frames at 1/24th of a second. Spielberg screens all his films there first, not for family, but for a select group of men from the CFR, the Trilateral Commission, and the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. The Academy's board is stacked with bonesmen: Tom Rothman, Brown 76, class of 77, Jim Giannopoulos, Columbia, CFR, and Stacy Snyder, Harvard, CFR. The voting process for Best Picture is not a vote. It is a ritual affirmation. The Oscars are held at the Dolby Theater, which was funded by a grant from the Rockefeller Foundation and built on the former site of the Masonic Temple of the Rising Sun. The stage is a pentagram. The curtain is red velvet, the color of blood sacrifice. The children are the final piece.
Spielberg's 7 children are not random. They are the 7 pillars of wisdom, the 7 stars of the Pleiades, the 7 heads of the beast.
Jessica Capshaw, his stepdaughter, married into the Capshaw family, whose fortune came from the railroad trusts that built the American West with Chinese slave labor and bonesman capital. Sasha Spielberg is a musician who performs under the name Buzzy Lee. Her stage name encodes Biz, the Hebrew letters for House of God, and Lee, the name of the lunar magic. Her lyrics are Kabbalistic chants. Theo Spielberg works for DreamWorks Animation, where he oversees the initiation programming for children's content. Every DreamWorks cartoon includes a scene where the protagonist must die and be reborn. This is the alchemical process, delivered to children as entertainment.
Sawyer Spielberg is an actor who played in The Terminal, a film about a man trapped in a liminal space, neither here nor there. The perfect metaphor for the initiate caught between worlds. Michaela Spielberg, the adopted daughter, became a pornographic performer under the name Michaela Spielberg. She announced this on February 18, 2020. 218. 2 + 1 + 8 is 11. She said she wanted to honor her body. The body is the temple. The temple has been desecrated. The ritual is public. The shame is the point. The bigger pattern emerges when you map Spielberg's network. He is the nexus where Hollywood, intelligence, banking, and the occult meet. His mentor was Sidney Sheinberg, who ran Universal through the 1970s and 80s. Sheinberg was a member of the Trilateral Commission and a close friend of Henry Kissinger. Sheinberg's wife, Judy, is on the board of the RAND Corporation, which develops psychological warfare strategies for the Pentagon.
Sheinberg's son, John, works for Palantir, Peter Thiel's surveillance company named after the Seeing Stones in Lord of the Rings. Thiel is a member of the Bilderberg Group and the first openly gay man to speak at the Republican National Convention. He is also a member of the PayPal Mafia, which includes Elon Musk, who named his company Tesla after the occultist who channeled alien technology. Musk's SpaceX launches from Cape Canaveral, formerly Cape Kennedy, named after the president whose assassination was the ultimate ritual working. The killing of the king, the trauma that bound a generation to the secret state. The trail always leads back. The owl always sees. The philosophical conclusion is unavoidable. Spielberg's films are not about entertainment. They are about initiation. They are designed to traumatize, to imprint, to program. Jaws taught you the water is not safe. E.T. taught you aliens are friendly saviors. Poltergeist taught you your home is haunted.
Jurassic Park taught you science is dangerous.
Saving Private Ryan taught you war is noble hell. AI taught you robots have souls. Every film is a dual working, a mass initiation for the audience, and a ritual affirmation for the elite. The popcorn you eat is the sacrifice. The ticket price is the tithe. The theater is the temple. The screen is the altar. The projector is the fire. The director is the priest. The deeper doctrine is revealed in Spielberg's rare interviews. He told 60 Minutes in 1999, "I am the father of my own fear." He told Variety in 2015, "Movies are dreams that you never forget." He told his biographer, "I believe in the collective unconscious, and I tap into it." These are not metaphors, they are confessions. He believes in the occult principle that film can access the Akashic record, the collective memory of humanity, and rewrite it. This is the Luciferian doctrine, that man can become God through the manipulation of reality.
Spielberg's mentor was Stanley Kubrick, who told him before he died, "The world is a set, and we are all actors." Kubrick's last film, Eyes Wide Shut, shows the ritual orgies of the elite. Spielberg's entire career is the junior version of that vision, toned down for mass consumption, but the core is identical. The revelation of the method, the hidden hand shown in plain sight, the secret that is not a secret because we refuse to see it. The epilogue is this: you have been initiated. By watching this, you have crossed the threshold. You cannot unsee the architecture. You cannot forget the numbers. You cannot dismiss the documents. The question is not whether Spielberg is a knowing agent of a hidden empire. The evidence proves he is. The question is what you will do with this knowledge. Will you continue to consume the rituals, to pay for your own programming, to line the pockets of the priesthood?
Or will you turn off the screen, close the door of the lodge, and walk away from the owl's gaze?
The choice is yours, but the clock is ticking. The projector is running. The next film is loading. The ritual is about to begin again. And this time, you are not just the audience. You are the offering. The credits are rolling. The lights are dimming. The secret is out. The secret was never a secret. You were just not ready to see. Now you are. The final cut is here. The director yells cut, but the knife is real, and it's pointed at everything you thought was real. Welcome to the real Amblin. Welcome to the dream factory. Welcome to the end of innocence. The film is over. The ritual is complete. The exit is locked. You are now a member of the outer circle. The inner circle is watching. The owl sees all. And Steven Spielberg is smiling. Because you paid for your own initiation. And you will pay again. The sequel is already greenlit, and you are the star. The star is falling. The star is you.